So there's this series on YouTube that I'm watching called Who Do You Think You Are? Where these stars trace their heritage, right? Sort of like finding your roots with Dr. Henry Gates. And I just looked at the episode with Spike Lee. It's quite interesting. It reminded me of when I was trying to trace my heritage through Ancestry.com. I did learn a lot about my father's side of the family. That's what I was tracing, my father's side of the family. But these people go all the way back to the 1800s. I don't think I got that far back. And it's interesting because they're finding their white slave owners' ancestors and finding out that they're related to them. Like they third cousin, second removed, or whatever that means. And I just think it's interesting. And it also brings tears to my heart and to my eyes because it makes me think about what my ancestors may have gone through at the hands of their white owners. Like, if you're going to own somebody, you can at least treat them with decency. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. A lot of black people are tracing their heritage now because we have come to an awakening. And that awakening is that we are the true descendants of the Hebrew Israelites. All this time, they had us thinking we were the Gentiles. Come to find out they are actually the Gentiles. And we have come into this awakening through nothing but scripture. So we know that it's a divine power that has waken us up. And you know how we know? Because you know how we know that it's divine? Because that's scripture. That is scripture. And it's scripture taken from the Apocrypha, Apocrypha, which is biblical, but it's not, people does not consider it part of the accepted canon of scripture. A lot of people are doubtful of the authorship of the Apocrypha. But when I read the Apocrypha, I get the same flow that I get when I'm reading the Bible. And Baruch 2:30 from the Apocrypha said, "For I knew that they will not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves." I don't know of any group of people that are living amongst their captors other than the so-called black folk that was dispersed to the four corners of the earth on slave ship. And like I said, a lot of black people are starting to research or search their history, their past, their ancestry, because of this newfound awakening that has been bestowed upon us by divine intervention. See, if we spend more time finding out who we really are, we will not have time to be hating on one another. When will we have time to hate on one another if we are busy finding out who our ancestors are, who our ancestors were? In watching this show, Who Do You Think You Are on YouTube, Spike Lee found out that his great-great-great-grandfather owned land upon land upon land in the 1800s. He owned land. And they worked the land. And that's part of our problem today. We have no land because we don't invest. We don't invest in ourselves because we're too busy investing in others. That's the issue of the sons and daughters who are dispersed to the four corners of the earth via slave ship. We are too invested in others, just like our biblical ancestors who loved the Greek so much and who loved the Egyptians so much. When they were in the wilderness, Egypt was still in their hearts. Lord, I pray when I leave this place that it do not be in my heart. If I am so blessed to make it to the wilderness, let not this United States of this here America be in my heart.